Podcast on the Super SpikeGhetti Bros podcasting network. My name is Mike, and with me as always is my brother, Jason. Hello, Jason.
Yo. What's poppin'?
So you're probably like, what is this, right? And we're kind of figuring that out too.
Where am I?
But basically, we're known for the longest running Kingdom Hearts podcast, the Ansem Report. You guys, if you're here listening to this, you probably know that already. And the Kingdom Hearts well, as people have talked about, is dry.
Bone dry.
There's not a lot going on. And I'm just sick of not being able to sit here and talk to my brother once a week about video game stuff. So instead of trying to push all this other media stuff into the Ansem Report, we said, hey, we can do a separate show called ARP. What does ARP stand for? It's none of your business. Apple Raisin Peanut Butter, maybe? I don't know. Who knows?
You'll find out.
Maybe we'll discover together what ARP stands for. But the Ansem Report podcast isn't going anywhere. When there's more Kingdom Hearts news, like when Kingdom Hearts 4 is starting to come out, it will return. But until then, we wanted to bring you guys a weekly podcast where we talk about whatever we want. We're mostly going to stick to media because that's something we both love and are passionate about, whether it be video games, movies, television shows. But we might wander into some different territory from time to time. And today we're mostly talking about video games. The topics we have are mostly video game related, because we figured that was a good place to start. But, for example, next week, or it might actually be out by the time you're watching this, but the new Coheed and Cambria album is out. And so the next episode of this... I've been purposely
not listening to any of the singles for that, because I found that, I pretty quickly... I end up getting fatigued by those songs way earlier.
Yeah,
I end up, skipping a lot, whereas, literally the only time I've heard any of it, I heard, one of the songs when, we were driving to my house. It was you, me, and Tara driving to my house. So that's the only time I've heard any of it. So I'm it's just going to be all complete fresh, and I'm really excited.
Yeah. No, so
more
we'll
excited than I've been
week.
for one in a minute.
Yeah. No, and it's getting really good reviews. Spoiler. So we're going to both listen to that and give you our expert opinion as Coheed and Cambria fans next week. And so we're going to talk about stuff like that. So that's kind of the idea. And we got some segments planned. It's going to be a little rough at first because it's we're right before
Scuffed.
recording. Yeah, right before recording, I was like, wait, how do we start this? You know what I mean? And we decided, hey, Good Tidings is familiar. Let's do it, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at right now. But is there anything else you want to say about this show, Jason?
I mean, it's basically just going to be us talk about stuff we care about, just babble on about as we do as brothers. And, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, and we also decided to bring the webcams in.
True.
This is something I've wanted to do for the Ansem Report for a while, and I think when we come back to it...
I can't be naked like usual. Unlucky.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not usually naked, but I'm just wearing a T-shirt Winnie the Pooh style.
Hell yeah.
Bare ass out. Digging for that honey, baby. And it's funny, you just said, hey, we're going to talk about stuff that we care about. I don't know that I actually care about this, but I wanted to talk about it. And Hideo Kojima, the auteur video game artist behind Metal Gear and other things, released a 10-minute trailer for Death Stranding 2 on the beach.
A short episode.
Yeah.
Of a TV show.
And so I didn't plan on talking about this, and then I was sitting on my couch the other night scrolling through YouTube, and I was like, you know what, I'll bite. Because, honestly, I was really disappointed by Death Stranding the game, but when I would watch the trailers for the first game, I was really excited for it.
Yeah.
They did all this cool, mood stuff with, the dudes floating in the air over the beach, you know what I mean? And, all that stuff.
all the dead whales, yeah.
Right, I was super into that. And then I played the game, and it was like a walking simulator, but, worse.
Yeah.
And
with
I really
some
tried
horror
with the
aspects.
Yeah, I really tried to play it. I played it way longer than I wanted to because I was like, oh, I bet it gets good. Like it's gotta get good.
Also, like it's a different experience because we played it at launch, right? And like for people who haven't played Death Stranding, like you can like leave stuff that affects the world for other players,
right?
Like a ladder, and it's like makes it easier to get up this like cliff face or something, shortcut. But like now, if you go and play, like there's like full on like highways and stuff to different places, like. It's a much easier experience in certain parts of the game.
Yeah.
So us playing it at launch was definitely a lot more like CVT than it would be to do now.
But either way, I played a lot of this game and then like was like, I can't do this anymore. But
it was like an actual job.
Yeah. I was Sam Porter Bridges, dude. I was Norman Reedus and the baby fetus. I was lifting this stuff. So I watched the trailer, just I'll bite. And it immediately like occurred to me how absolutely hilarious this trailer is. But before I get into exactly what bothered me or what I want to talk about it, what did you think of this trailer? I made you watch it.
So I watched it and was like, bro, what is going on? Like all over again. But like honestly, it like kind of sucked me back into being interested in like that world, right? Like when I think about Stranding, I'm like, right? Because I was like there for a lot of it, and like it was just not intriguing to me. And like there were certain things that I thought were funny about like watching like our friend Dom would like stream it in the Discord way back then, and like just watching the hilarity of like, shit, I fell over. Oh, now that pack's like going down the river. Oh my God. Like that type of stuff where it's like, it's not me, so it's funny, you know?
Right.
But so I don't have as much fatigue with the game. And like even the lore of the first game like disappointed me a little bit, having like watched like videos of like all the like the whole story and stuff of the game. But just like how they packaged this trailer, I was like kind of back. Like I was kind of like, okay, so, this is kind of cool, bro. Like this
I'm
is
torn
crazy,
on it.
wacky, wild. You know,
I'm torn on it because a lot of it was really cool, and then a lot of it was just like nonsense. Like, what kind of trailer has like exposition in it?
Right.
Like, there's this huge part of the trailer where it's like, show something atmospheric. It's been this many years since the right, and you're like, okay, and it's like show something else atmospheric. The porter, the Sam Porter Bridges doesn't have to make deliveries anymore. But also this nonsense that I don't understand is also words. Like words I understand, but together they don't make sense. Like, and it was just like so much of that, and I was laughing at that. And then the gameplay, like there were some cool gameplay parts. Like they give him a gun at some point, which I don't think happened in the first game, right?
You can get it in the first game.
Could you? Okay, sure. See, I didn't even play far enough to have a gun.
They were like pretty whack, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like they're there, but yeah.
But you're like gunning down kaiju and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But then a lot of it was just like indie rock song plays, and and Norman Reedus is just walking across different like different landscapes. Here he is in a winterland, and here he is next to lava. And it was like the game is like over the shoulder third person, but these were like wide spanning shots, and it made me feel like I should like create my own Mike Stranding trailer where
Mike
you just put me in front of a green screen, and I got like various backpacks with me, and then I'm just like walking in these
various
environments.
Amounts of dirt on you.
yeah, exactly. I got a little baby doll strapped to my chest and some shit, and like I'm just like it reminded me of the John Travolta meme where he's like, you know, like looking around, like
kind of
like that's that whole section of that gameplay. That's what it reminded me of, is like Norman Reedus just like, huh? Where am I going? And it made me laugh super hard. And then on top of this, bruv put Solid Snake back in his game again.
Yeah, bro, that shit's crazy.
Like that actor, his name escapes me, but he a few years ago, someone asked Kojima, like, hey, if you were making a Metal Gear Solid movie, who would you cast as Snake? And he said that actor. So now he's pulled that actor to be in his game.
Luca Marnielli.
Luca Marnielli. I don't know what he's in, what he's from. good looking dude, sure. And then he puts on the bandana at the end. And it's like, oh, so
it's just
I guess
Solid Snake, bro.
He's just literally Solid Snake. And I read something, and this could have been a meme because it's hard to know what's real on the internet anymore, especially the older I get. But it was like Kojima saying that, no, we're cool with Konami. They don't care. And I was like, I don't know if that's real or not. I don't know if he said that or not. But I read that. And I was just like, this is such nonsense. And I can't believe it's coming out this year. That blew my mind. Like you said, man, there was some stuff about it that I was like, oh, am I back in, dude? Am I gonna go reinstall Death Stranding on my PlayStation and bare my teeth through it to play Death Stranding 2?
Yeah.
And it was like, how does he keep pulling me in with this nonsense? Because I'm not a Metal Gear Solid fan. I don't know if I've ever liked anything that Kojima's done.
I like the idea of them, especially when I see like certain cutscenes and stuff from like especially like MGS5. Like I'm like, yo, this is badass, right? And then I've played the beginning of MGS5 and got to like, there's a part where like you have to like shoot this like flaming horse or something. Like the gameplay itself is like definitely always secondary to the spectacle in those like like the linear story parts. Like I know it like kind of opens up and there's a lot of different things you can do, but I was definitely in the like, you are in a linear game part of the beginning. And I'm sure I didn't get very far at all. Like only played it like a couple of hours at my friend's house. It also is just like, both when I think about Death Stranding because of its gameplay, but also just like how like long and then also non-gameplay focused I feel like those parts are, that it kind of feels like fatiguing to like the idea. And in the same way where it's like, oh, maybe I want to play like the Trails series or something, but it's like a huge JRPG series that's like hundreds and hundreds of hours, like fatiguing in that way where it's like,
right,
do I really want to jump into this? Like,
no,
this is a lot. Like, I'm getting married, do I really?
Right.
I got cold feet right now.
Yeah. Well, like to me, whenever I played, I think it's the one they're remastering this year. I played quite a bit of that Metal Gear. Snake Eater, is that right? It's the one where he's in the jungle. And he's in the jungle, and there's the guy that controls bees, and there's the old man sniper, and if you wait long enough, instead of fighting him in a boss battle, he just dies because he's old.
Old age.
Yeah, that's the one I've played quite a bit of. But, like, otherwise, when I watch, like, Metal Gear Solid cutscenes, because I've seen quite a few on YouTube, it makes me think of, like, Dreamcast-era Sonic the Hedgehog games, where it's just this, like, cutscene that's, like, absolute nonsense, and, like, everything's like comical and you know what I mean, like oh, there's Rouge the Bat where their titties bouncing, and here's and it's like, oh, here's the boss, and like, and that's just what it makes me think of.
Everybody
seems like such, and I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan, and I'm saying this like that like,
right.
I play a game where like Donald Duck will like fucking shoot a fucking laser out of his wand.
The strongest
right
laser to ever happen in that universe.
And I just feel like those games are like that kind of nonsense to me, and like the cutscenes and stuff. But I also like, I feel like Kojima just says weird shit sometimes on social media.
Yeah.
Like the whole Captain America thing he said, where he was like, I saw Captain America Brave New World, which I haven't seen, by the way, so I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm not like, but he's like, when did Sam become Captain America? I know he got handed the shield in the end of Endgame, but was I supposed to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier? No, he got handed the shield at Endgame. You said it. You literally saw the thing that made it happen, dude, and you're here like, what? You write Metal Gear. You write some of the most convoluted shit. You write Death Stranding. Like,
they didn't spell it out
with
enough,
bleeding,
I guess.
black bleeding eyeballs and fetus holes, and you're telling me you can't understand that a guy hands somebody the symbol of his job, and it's his job now? What, do you want him to do a job interview? Do you want him to fill out an application? Like, what do you want, Kojima?
The Captain America.
Right, does he have to say it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand that critique. And
definitely
I'm spiraling
weird
on Kojima right now.
Maybe...
But
Like, the only thing I think of is, like, he was just, like, sleep deprived or something, you know? Like, he was a bender, you know? Like, the bender he definitely needs to be on to write and come up with Death Stranding 2.
That was my favorite moment at the Game Awards when our boys, Statler and Waldorf, clowned on Jeff and Kojima. Because you know he's good friends with Hideo Kojima. Does Kojima know that? Oh! And then cut to Kojima, and he's like,
well, and
happy.
like he knows English. Like he knows English very well. It's just he speaks Japanese in public because he doesn't want to make a mistake. Like have him be the reason that people misunderstand what he's saying.
Right. Which like that's kind of sad. Like I feel sad for him that that's how he feels. You know.
I mean, like think about like a language just from like being around it a lot, right? And then like maybe some studying and stuff, right? And then like you need to go on, like imagine you needed to go do like a live episode of the podcast in Japanese. Like you might be a little apprehensive, right? Like they're like, you can either do this and have it be way more nerve-wracking that you might mess up. And also not only is it like a live episode podcast, but like this determines like how much money your game makes if you mess up.
Yeah, but,
right.
But okay, take that same scenario, and I understand what you're saying, but just apply that to me speaking in normal language.
Right.
Because that's me every day, brother.
You're cooked
in my normal
they're
language,
like,
English.
Or you can speak your native language, and then someone can just translate it for you.
Right.
Like,
That's true. That's true.
It's just so much less pressure, you know. So I can understand.
I guess to wrap this up, I mean, do you want to play Death Stranding 2, Jason?
I might like want to watch somebody play it, and then like if the beginning is like interesting enough, maybe I'm like, okay, I'm in or whatever, right? Like if the gameplay itself, like that's more like I'm not so interested in like the story that if the gameplay is bad, I'll buy it. The gameplay also needs to be good for me to buy it.
Do you
for
know?
Sure. Otherwise,
do you
like,
know what would
to watch the movie? Let me just like watch the movie on YouTube, you know,
Right.
like or on
No, I
Twitch or
agree.
whatever, right?
Do you know what would make me want to play it? Like this genius idea that just came to me is
Like
if
a
it
Twitch
was
integration or something.
If it was multiplayer.
Oh, okay.
Because I was thinking, like, I know Fabio's really.
I have to press R2. You have to press L2 to balance.
No, not
us.
controlling the same dude. Like we're all our own little Norman Reeduses, like trying to. And we're oh shit! I dropped my package. Hold up, guys. Like that would be funny. That's a game I would play.
You're holding this all up.
Holy shit! Dude, we only have 2 minutes to get there, and you dropped your package. You're like that, and they could.
What are the names of the enemies again? Like BTs
I don't
or
fucking
something?
know. Oh yeah,
BTs.
BTs,
Like
that
BTs.
sounds right.
It's like,
What isn't?
leave me. The BTs got us all distract them.
It's like Left 4 Dead, but without any of the gun combat. It's just trying to escape.
Yeah. And also, you need to like randomly, arbitrarily hold L2 or R2.
Yes. All right. So Death
Sick.
Stranding 2, jury's out. It comes out July. I think July.
I have
July
the trailer.
17th.
July 24th with early access.
Oh.
Or wait, maybe that's just for that specific thing. Let me see. You can pre-order March. Yeah, June 26th.
Okay.
Available. So you can play it 2 days early if you get early access with the special deluxe version. The collector's thing with like the hand and it's like bleeding like down or whatever, that's kind of cold.
It is cool. Some of that collector stuff is cool. I'm so sick of the fucking pay us. You could buy the game for $70, but if you pay us $120, you can play it early. Civ 7, like what the fuck?
That shit's so annoying.
The only game I'm doing that
like
for is like Kingdom
like
Hearts.
Usually day one, yeah. Like for a game like Civ 7, it's like, but the day one patch, like, you gotta do that or else it's unplayable, bro.
Right.
Like, at least I have more faith in Death Stranding 2 in this scenario, but like,
well, I guess
there's definitely games where like, I can't remember which game it was. It was like a live service type of game or something, like some multiplayer game. And because the early access was so unplayable that like basically the entire amount that you would have paid to get the extra early access, they like gave people in like their like credits in game in-game shop or
Really?
whatever because it was so. I can't remember what game it was.
I wonder what
it
it
wasn't
was.
Call of Duty. I can't remember.
For some reason, the only game that's coming to my head is Cyberpunk, because that was the game that they refunded people.
It wasn't like terrible to that. It was more like, I think it was like a server issue type of thing. Like maybe it was like FIFA or something. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But like I've done the early access thing when you and I were super into doing like Let's Plays, and it was like, oh, if we play this early and get it up on YouTube quick, maybe we'll get more views. Yeah. But like, I don't know, man. And I was
even having done Twitch stuff a lot, like, you know, especially when it's like a game like Kingdom Hearts 4 or whatever, like, honestly, I feel like a lot of times it ends up giving you less views when you do it right away.
Because people don't
everyone
want to be spoiled.
wants to do it themselves, you know?
Yeah. People don't want to be spoiled. And they
but
want to
then
do it
it's like
themselves.
if you're streaming it and like everybody's already done it, now you're opening yourself for like some like dickhead in the chat spoiling it, you know? So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
All right. On to the next topic.
Well, wait. There was one thing I wanted to ask. Did you watch the, like, it was, I saw it on the Game Awards channel or whatever, but there was like, they had like a sit down where it was Kojima, there was a lady interviewing them, and then like Norman Reedus came out, and
no, I didn't see this.
Troy Baker came out, and then like I ended up like just clicking out. Like there was like another like chair or two of like more people coming out, but I was like, I already noped out after that. There was one part that was really funny where like there was like a touching moment where Hideo was basically saying that like the reason why Higgs, like a character in the game who's played by Troy Baker, the reason he has a guitar and shit is because during the pandemic, and basically Kojima during this interview like said that a lot of things in the game are because of like the pandemic, because he like wrote it during the pandemic and like all this stuff, right? So he keeps like mentioning it a lot. And he was during the pandemic, Troy Baker was doing live streams on Instagram where he'd like play the guitar and stuff. Because before he was a voice actor, I guess he was trying to be like some type of musician,
grifter.
Like he had a band, right? Yeah, some kind of grifter, and
some kind of NFT seller.
Yeah. And so he can play the guitar and he's singing, right? And that's what made him change this character in the game. He's like, oh yeah, because like it's played by him, and like they actually do like the motion capture stuff, so it's very much him, right? Mm-hmm. And so like that was like a nice touching moment, and Troy's talking about how like, you know, that like is awesome. That's something that like was originally something that I thought was going to be how I make an impact on the world was through music. But then now it's like, you know, I'm doing this voice acting thing, and obviously he didn't say it the way I'm paraphrasing, but he was just saying like, you know, it's really cool that gets to come to light in a different way, right? Mm-hmm. And immediately after follows up with just like how it feels to work with Hideo Kojima, and like how he said it was so funny, bro. It was so Baker. He was like, you know, I'm not a musician. I'm not an actor. I'm not a voice actor. I'm just a storyteller.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm here to tell my story. Yes, he says that. And he's like, and finding someone like Kojima to help tell my story is just the gift of a lifetime. I was like, bro, Troy, shut the hell up, bro. Like, what is going on, bro?
Jason, you can hate or you can create. All right.
I forgot. I was like, oh my God, bro. Like, he is just like the epitome of like taking myself really, really seriously as like a creative,
like,
and like
super talented dude.
I get it. Yeah, he's the GOAT. But it's like, come on, bro, please.
Yeah. I'm just saying,
he ruined what was like a really nice comment to me, like immediately by following it up with that. I was like, oh my God, bro.
I'm just saying, if I'm at a party with voice actors, right? he's probably the person I'm avoiding the most, non-Quentin Flynn
True.
division. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like if we're
Allegedly.
talking normal
Allegedly.
people. Allegedly caught. Let's move on. I tried to do a thing like next topic, but it didn't work.
What's funny is like even when doing like the ARP, the Ansem Report, like I'll still like I'm just a very expressive person, so I would have done that regardless. But
the only difference is the cameras are on
cam. It's actually caught on cam. You know?
Right. The only difference between what we're doing is that we actually turned cameras on. Like, because this is like, if any podcast I'm doing, whether I'm talking to Sean about BoJack or I'm talking to you about Kingdom Hearts, I'm doing this with my hands the whole time. I'm like talking and I put my hand up a lot. You'll see me do this. Like, that's just who I am. So next topic, we're going to have a reoccurring topic on here that we call the watch list.
The watch
That's right.
list.
And right now, the watch list is going to have, we're each going to have a game on the watch list. And these are games that are coming out later, maybe this year, maybe not. I think both of these are coming out this year. And we might add to the watch list. We might add a movie to the watch list. But the point of the watch list is anytime there's any kind of news about these games, we're going to bring it up and talk about it on the pod. So that's the idea. So I'll go first because my game is more is going to be better, but also is going to come out sooner than yours. My game is Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Do you know anything about this game, Jason?
I feel like I remember seeing a trailer for it and being like, "This is like review bait," you know, like game reviewer bait. I guess it is a more proper.
So it's better than that because
that's how it just felt. Like that was my initial reaction, you know.
It's made by a small team. I believe they're French. I could be wrong about that. I apologize, but they basically they basically set out to make a turn-based RPG modernized.
Okay, I'm interested.
And so it's a mix of Final Fantasy X, Persona 5, with a little dash of like a Super Mario RPG thrown in there, because like pretty much all the moves are button. Like you can make the move more powerful by hitting a button timing,
like
right?
FF8, yeah.
Right. I guess kind of like that. But the difference is like you can also use it to dodge.
Okay, yeah.
I've read things that say theoretically, if you're good enough, you can dodge every attack thrown at you.
Oh, no damage runs?
Yes, that's exactly what the person said in the thing. It's very high production value for a small team. I don't know that it's a AAA game because I don't think it's a very long game, at least by JRPG standards, right?
Right.
But it's got a lot of voice acting. The concept of the story and I could be getting some of this wrong because honestly I've kind of stopped watching trailers because I've seen a lot at this point because I'm very, very excited for this game.
Right.
But the concept is that they live in this world where every year the paintress, who's like this godlike person, paints a number on this gigantic like canvas. Okay. And at the end of the year, anybody who's aged that age dies.
Damn.
So every year they send an expedition out to try and stop this, and they failed. And this one is 33, Expedition 33.
This was kind of like Final Fantasy X vibes in that way.
Right. Right. And so I've kind of stopped learning like stuff about the story especially. But there's open areas for you to walk in from what I understand, but then there's also like a world map where you're like a big boy on a map, you know, like classic JRPG, like walking around to different spots, right?
I like that.
There's like an airship at one point. Like, so it's like, it's doing all the right things.
Yeah.
And it's like, it comes out April 24th. Okay. So it comes out very soon. There's been a lot of hands-on previews with it recently. With one outlet saying this is like a better Final Fantasy X.
What?
A better Final Fantasy X? So I'm so like I don't think I could be more hype about this game. I'm really excited about it. I'm gonna play the shit out of it. And because I need JRPG and it's not a JRPG, it's a JRPG style because it's not made by Japanese people, right?
Right.
But I need a turn-based JRPG style game in my life in a bad way, and I'm really excited for Claire Obscure.
Well, I just want it to do good
Expedition
so that
30.
like maybe Final Fantasy takes the stick out of their ass and are
No, not gonna happen.
Turn-based still works.
Because-
What?
Because it is still working. Like, it's very clear it's still working. Like, Persona 5 is another great example of that, right?
Any of the Persona games have been re-released, too.
Right. And so, like, it's clear that people want turn-based. Like, Square Enix themselves have made it. Octopath Traveler, right? Very successful game series. And we're on a tangent again, but the problem with that thought process of, well, Square Enix just doesn't understand that turn-based RPGs are good, right, anymore, or that they're not outdated or whatever the argument is. They know. The people that are behind the Final Fantasy series, namely Tetsuya Nomura and others, don't like turn-based games. It's not because they think they'll be commercially unsuccessful. It's not because they think that it's,
I guess that's like fair, right? Like you don't want to like work on a game you don't like, but like in a similar way, it's like your job, right?
Well, right, but
you're not gonna always love the game you're working on. I feel
right,
like.
But think about like ever since Nomura's been a director, what has it been? Right, 15, he was the director or started as the director, and it's an action game. Right, and then you take the other team that made 16, and it's an action game. Though it's my opinion that those guys don't like turn-based RPGs because it doesn't allow them to be flashy enough. They want these flashy, anime-inspired, manga-inspired battles, and they don't feel like they can do it with JRPGs. But what this game could do, Jason, is not prove that like JRPGs are viable or turn-based RPGs are viable, because I think that's clear.
Yeah.
It's that you can make, because the moves in this game are flashy. The moves in this game it's turn-based, but it's action-orientated. Like you're putting in button presses.
Right,
and it looks cool. And so hopefully some of those guys can go, hey, you know what? Maybe I can make this cool idea I have flourish in a turn-based Final Fantasy game, right? And that's my hope for it.
That'd be dope.
But also my hope is that it's just a dope game, because I'd like to play
right.
dope games.
Yeah, for no other reason than it would just be fun to play.
Right.
I thought it was just reviewer bait. Like I think I'd only seen
it's not.
I don't think I saw any gameplay. Like I think it was just like a story-based trailer, right?
I think you and I watched the first ever trailer. We were watching some, I don't think it was the Game Awards, but it was some like event, and we watched it and we were like, I was like, oh, that looks cool. But the hype levels weren't where they are now.
Huh. Yeah, I feel like I don't really remember it. I just remember feeling that it was like a reviewer bait game.
Well, and a lot of what they showed too was like story beats where things are like emotional, right?
Right.
It's like, oh, how are we gonna survive? The paintress. I'm 33 years old. I'm fucked. Like shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, dude. I'm really excited for this game. I think it's gonna be really.
It's over
dope.
for you, Unc.
And honestly,
Unlucky.
it's like a little more than a month away. So I'm really hyped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I won't be on a watch list for long. I'll have to replace it. Your watch list game is also a game I'm excited for, but take it away, man.
So my watch list game on the watch list, as a part of the watch list, is going to be Borderlands 4. That's right, baby. That's right. We're so back to getting hella guns, hella loot, and shooting hella badasses. All right?
Hell yeah.
I'm hyped. Like, Borderlands 3, the story was, like, utter dog shit to me. It got redeemed in the DLCs. Writing was way better. Minus one of them. But that was just because they didn't have like any reoccurring characters in it. And then also it was like a Western / Japanese like fusion. It was like, what if there was a world where like there was like Japanese buildings and like some like kind of like Yakuza inspired kind of stuff, but it was Western. Like it just did not work. The story, like the writing was terrible, but the guns were so, and like some of the levels were cool in that specific DLC. But the other writing in the other DLCs was like, chef's kiss, awesome. The gameplay of Borderlands 3, amazing. Love that game. It's the best gameplay in my opinion. Borderlands 2 is still really good, but when you have a good gun, you like immediately know it's good. Whereas in Borderlands 2, sometimes it's like, maybe with like a specific build this would work, but like this feels awful to shoot, and like the aim, like you're reticle, you're like moving everywhere with like most guns. I didn't like that as much in Borderlands 2. How they have phrased this is that it's like the writing of Borderlands 2 with the gameplay of 3, kind of, right? Like they know everybody. They know everybody. It was like a senior director on the game. Basically saying like they're going back to like the Borderlands 2 style of writing, where like it's definitely gonna have more of the like I think they said like toilet humor or something, like was the phrase they used. I think they get that like people were very dissatisfied with the writing in 3, at least the base game, right? And between that and then I think also Andy Pitchford had said something similar over like they were like, yeah, we've been in development for several years after like Tiny Tina's and like the reception to that. But he said that he's like very confident fans are going to be very, very happy, like in that it was going to be reminiscent of Borderlands 2. Which, I mean, you know, take it with a grain of salt. They might just be like, guys, it won't suck like 3 story-wise. Yeah. Like, come back, it's fine. And it's not going to be set in Pandora anymore. It's on a new world. I don't think they disclosed that if it's going to be several worlds like 3 was. I could easily see it being several worlds. Just with like the level of like technology and stuff we've seen in 3.
And I mean, like,
there's no reason not to, really.
Yeah, with the other games, like, yeah, they were they would be big areas, but then there'd be loading zones in between. So, like, does it really matter if it's all one planet?
Exactly.
You know, it doesn't.
Yeah. But some of the like art that they've shown for it, it's still got the like classic like cell shaded type of art style. But it definitely looks in these screenshots to be just like cleaner looking, in my opinion.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, I'm a Borderlands fiend, and they haven't shown any real gameplay yet. Just a lot of like concept art and stuff, and it definitely seems like going more of like a futuristic route in like this.
They showed some gameplay, but it was like very very montagey.
Yeah. They haven't shown like a consecutive like 30 seconds or like even 10 seconds of gameplay, right? Like
they haven't been like, hey, here's the characters and the classes and what they do, and
you have no concept of like what's happening at all in the clips that they show, right? Like it's just people blowing up, people dying, you know, to some dubstep, you know.
Hell yeah.
Which I'm all for. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it seems like they're going way more of like a futuristic vibe with it. And I'm just excited to have more Borderlands gameplay, but also just like in the context of a story that I give like a single flying fuck about. Because like the Tiny Tina stuff was like cool, but like because it's basically Dungeons and Dragons, like you don't care about any of the characters.
Right. Yeah, we just played through that, like ran through it as fast as possible because the story didn't really matter.
But there was some side quests that were funny.
Yeah. But it wasn't like I didn't care. Which still made it better than Borderlands 3 story. You know what I mean? But like
true.
It was like no one ended by fucking crashing into a planet and this girl's on fire playing or anything like that, you know? Wow, a little on the nose, Randy Pitchford.
They're not like killing off like fan favorite characters and like thinking like, oh, this is gonna be so good when this happens. You know, like they really thought they wrote Cinna, bro. It was very reminiscent of like the Lego movie, you know, in a way.
Yeah.
There's the Overlord, who's the bad guy, but it's your dad, like kind of thing. It kind of felt like that in a way. My like number one demand, Randy Pitchford, I know you're watching.
Big fan of the show.
I know you're watching. For the love of God, I need a lot of Wainwright Jacobs in this game. I don't care how you do it. Wainwright Jacobs needs to be a mainstay in Borderlands. He's the only new character that's like pure cinema, amazing writing, amazing voice acting. Please, for the love of God, if there's no Wainwright Jacobs, I'm going to freak fuck out, Randy.
You heard it here first, Randy.
My demands are clear.
Get your shit together, Randy.
Yeah, dude. I'm just mad excited. It doesn't have a specific release date yet. It's just 2025.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty certain.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty certain.
I'm pretty sure they dropped it. I think it's like October. Borderlands 4 is coming September 23, 2025.
Bro, what? Why is this not like right on the... I was reading the second article, like the article after it.
Yeah, it was in the State of Play in February. They announced it. And I think...
Okay, so September 23. Okay, bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. I was literally just saying, like, I'm like praying to God. It's like before I go to Japan, because like playing that with the homies, like on 200 ping, like everyone else is on fine ping, but I'm on 200 ping would just be like awful for a shooter specifically. We paused for a second and Mike was talking to Tara. I just watched the trailer that I had missed that announced it, that had like the montage, because
I told you there was gameplay.
There was like, you know, just like a random like shot, like almost like 10 frames, like, you know, like barely anything in that very first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then this, I just watched. Bro, I'm so hyped now because I was really worried they were going to try and like reinvent the wheel and like not make it in the Borderlands 3 engine. And it very clearly is in the Borderlands 3 engine. And I'm so happy, bro. I'm like, this is like Christmas Day, bro. I'm so happy.
I was going to say, worried. I feel like you missed something because you were like, there's been no gameplay. And I was like, I swear there was.
I was on their website and just clicked the middle thing. And it was like the second thing then. Like,
Weird. But yeah, Borderlands 4, not 3.
Borderlands
4. Hype.
In the 3 engine. I'm so hyped, bro. Oh my God, this is about to be cinema.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Jason's Japanese word of the day. If someone wants to make a stinger for that, feel free.
The word of the day. Today's word of the day.
Okay, wait.
To...
We might need to give people context as to why you're just suddenly spouting Japanese words.
I guess, yeah.
Because they might not have followed a stream and know that you're studying Japanese.
So during our subathon, I just randomly decided to say like random words in Japanese that like are completely useless. Like morning wood was one of them, you know? So... It's just kind of funny. I don't know.
Well, I didn't mean give them. I didn't mean explain Japanese the joke. I meant explain why you're just suddenly talking Japanese. Like
it's because we did it before. All right.
Okay.
So we're keeping it going. Do you want? What?
That's just like that's not what I wanted you to explain. I wanted you to be like, "Hey, I'm studying Japanese, so we thought it'd be fun if I shared some words with you." And you're like, "Yeah, I said morning wood once, and it was funny. I don't know. Fuck
it's kind of funny." Well, what do you mean? Fuck you, dude. Okay, yeah, I'm studying Japanese. Hopefully gonna be living in Japan soon, and yeah, just kind of funny to tell people some useless fucking words.
We'll all learn a little something today. So what's your word for today, Jason?
No, this is really riveting, So it's very pertinent to this week's podcast, especially when we're talking about Kojima and his insane games. Okay? So today's now in this word, there's like an extended part. And it's important you extend it a little bit. Because otherwise, it's not the same word, right? Like it's just not proper. So today's word is hijoshikina. Now the O, you gotta extend it a little bit, or else you're not saying it right.
Say it again.
Hijoshikina.
Hijo shikina.
Yeah. Hijo shikina.
Hijo shikina.
I want to see if you don't elongate it, if it's like a completely different word.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't... Wait. If you don't elongate the O, it's Joshi Kina means a non-welcome, a non-woman welcome.
Oh, what?
A non-woman welcome.
Like, you're welcoming someone who's not a woman?
Sure.
What does that mean? Well, you don't say sure to me. I don't speak Japanese.
Sure, whatever you want it to mean. No, okay, so non-Joshi, it's like a way to say woman, and then Kina is like like come or don't, like a welcome, So, yeah. Anyway, you can elongate the O. Hijo Shikina means insane, like Kojima is. Cinema.
Not a non-woman welcome. An insane person.
Yes. This has been the Japanese word of the day.
I was so hoping you'd do that. Like, I was just like, okay, say this has been. We are going to bring back a very near and dear segment to those listeners of the Ansem Report podcast. But before we do that, I have a bit of a rant, Jason. You know me. I'm a big YouTube guy, right?
This one's free, guys. This rant, free.
This rant is free. I'm a big YouTube guy. Not as much anymore, but like I'm really fascinated by like trends in YouTube and like different someone makes a video that pops off and then everybody tries to replicate it, and I just think that stuff's really interesting. But there's one trend that's been around for a while that grinds my gears. And we have some friends that do this. So hopefully they're not offended, but like I would say it to their face. Like I'm not like this isn't some secret, thing. When people, for example, we'll use this one as an example. Someone maybe is a lawyer, or they've studied law, or they have a practice, and then the video is titled "Real Lawyer Plays Phoenix Wright."
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
I hate this because it's like, okay, I get it. Phoenix Wright is a lawyer. But what, are you like analyzing how the law works in that game? Because that's not how the law works in Japan even. Like it's just like nonsense.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like an anime. It's nonsense.
World. Yeah.
Right. So what kind of valuable insight are you providing us in your YouTube video because you are a lawyer? Another one.
He can't object there. Like the guy's like, objection.
Yeah, exactly.
He can't object there. And
it's not just video games too, because it'll be like, jazz musician hears Coheed and Cambria for the first time. It's like, who the fuck cares if you're a jazz musician or not? What does that matter? Like what does that have to do with anything?
Okay,
but
so
worst...
I feel like where it started is like, people talking about like guns in a video game. Like I feel like that was the first one to really pop off in that. It's like, oh, this person in the military reacts to like how the guns work in Battlefield 3 or something back in the day, right? Like, those used to do numbers like, but
person
it's like
who's
evolved.
Actually killed people analyzes guns in a video game. Sure, I get it.
Yeah,
but like, and it's like a hook, right? It's like a, hey, I want you to click my video. Here's why. But it doesn't mean anything. The ones I've been seeing lately,
it's like a non-clickbait clickbait.
the ones I've been seeing lately that have really that made me want to even talk about this is someone will identify as a certain type of fan of a video game. Like maybe their channel is centered around, I don't know, Kingdom Hearts. Let's just say Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, okay. This is
the channel centered around Kingdom Hearts. Hypothetically. And then maybe they play a different game. Like, I don't know, like Monster Hunter. Let's just say Monster Hunter as the new Monster Hunter, right? And then the title of the video is Kingdom Hearts fan plays Monster Hunter. That's just fucking ridiculous. Why is that the title of your video?
It's fan and not like content creator or like,
or maybe it's I might have been content creator. It might have been fan. I don't know. But like either way, what is that? Why is that the title of your video? Like I put guy plays Monster Hunter for the first time. Sure. Yeah,
alcoholic tries cocaine first time. It's like, oh shit. No, he knows about addiction.
I'm going to start making videos that are like, alcoholic drinks in GTA 5 for the first time. You know, like what? Like what is this? What are we doing, YouTube?
Oh, I'm drunk after only 4 drinks. What a pussy!
What
a lightweight.
I'm drunk right now and I'm not this dizzy. You know, like what are we doing? You know, like it doesn't.
Well, they laced my shit for sure.
Like I'm gonna just start any of our old videos. Like I'm gonna take our video of us playing the Grinch. And I'm going to be like, real Grinches played the Grinch who stole Christmas. Like, it's just, you can say whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Like, why are you boiling yourself down to like, I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan, or I'm a lawyer, or I'm this. And this is why it's providing actual insight into the video. It doesn't matter. It's a gimmick.
I definitely get like the fatigue of like, because there is a lot of videos that have that type of title. And I can't say that I've really ever clicked on one.
Neither have I. Guy who hires hookers hires a hooker in GTA 5. You know, we can just use GTA 5 as an example. Guy who has a cousin named Roman goes bowling with his cousin Roman in GTA 4. Like, yeah. Oh, I have a cousin Roman. This is just what it's like. This is crazy.
Jeffrey Dahmer kills the lady of the night in GTA 5. Jeez.
O.J. Simpson runs for a 60-yard touchdown in Madden.
Oh,
O.J. Simpson murders his wife in a video game.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
If he did do it, this is how he would have.
Yeah, if he did murder his wife in a video game, this is how he would do it. The glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. That was my rant. Thank you for listening to that. We have one more segment before we go today, Jason. And do you know what time it is, actually?
It's a bit of a classic.
Do you know what time it is right now?
It's about 11:44.
No,
EST.
It's time for the question of the... I didn't have the audio cue pulled up, so we had to pretend to hear it. I don't know if we can... Wait, is it still playing?
Sweet
is it
music
still playing?
to my ears. Oh, my God.
That's right. It's time for the question of the week. And
we're back.
It is the question of the week, but it's not maybe the same question of the week. Like where we ask you guys a question and then read all your answers for the next 20 minutes. That's not what this is. This is someone asked us a question, and we're going to answer it. So Miss Weinrib is the first ever question of the week asker. And she wants to know, is there a default video game? Sorry, I read that wrong. Is there a default video game, movie, TV show, audiobook, book, album, etc. that you go back to when you're just not in the mood for anything new, just comfort?
That's a good question.
It's a very good question.
I feel like more recently, I'm not as much of a like go back to the same thing. Like I'm like okay, I get addicted to this one song. Like let's say like Running Up That Hill, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I play that song like 30,000 times.
Yep.
Then I'm done with it. You know, like maybe I might hear it randomly, like my Spotify DJ plays it randomly or something, or someone else plays it, or it plays on the wheel on stream, and I'm like, okay. But I'm not like actively going back to that song anymore. For the most part.
I had that same experience with Running Up That Hill, where I just
I knew that. That's why I like.
Oh, okay. You're making fun of me. Okay, got it.
No, I did the same thing. Oh. It just wasn't the OG version. It was the Social Repose version, but we don't talk about guys. So I also don't listen to that version anymore. So I don't really have like for example, our little brother, he watches The Office like every day, right? Like it's like to go to bed. Like I know a lot of people do that type of thing. I'm more...
Bro is like, I need to watch YouTube while I eat, but instead of YouTube, it's The Office.
No, specifically The Office. If you gave him any frame from any episode, he could tell you what episode it was.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Like,
it's insane.
I literally was at a hotel recently and was like doing like a 360 of the hotel, like, oh, this is really nice, you know? And then The Office like happened to be on, and I was like, oh my God, they got The Office. Like, in the amount of time I said, they got The Office. Like, it was like on screen for that long. He knew exactly what episode it was. It was like, I love that one where this happens. It's like,
yeah, it
bro,
was pretty insane. It was pretty insane.
It's like a Snapchat you watched one time.
Yeah,
like,
pretty insane.
Really, my only one that I can think of that I do is like Lord of the Rings, but that's like a
good one.
That's like a 2 times a year type of thing, you know? Maybe 3, depending on like maybe I watch it with my mom. And then, like, my one homie, Alex, shout out Alex, we watch it all the time. And it's like, maybe, like, even if it's only been, like, a couple weeks and he's like, Jay, we gotta rewatch, dude. I'll be down. Like, it's that much, like, comfort me. Otherwise, the only one I can think of would be, I really like this anime called March Comes in Like a Lion in English. It's a very cozy anime, and it's a really good listening practice for me. It's just a really good story, but it's just like an everyday life type of thing where like the character kind of just like learns how to be like an adult and like a person. So it's like a very like it starts off very sad, but it's like a very like healing show to watch because you can just watch this person like heal from like insane bad trauma, but it's like also very real, you know, like it's not like, oh my God, this inconceivable thing happened. Like, it's a very real, grounded show. This is very comfy. Really good music, too.
I don't know that there's a video game. There are certain video games that bring me comfort, but I don't... I don't, like, reach out to them, typically. Like, I don't, like, go, okay, I gotta put Chrono Cross in, right? Like, the intro to Chrono Cross brings me a lot of comfort, but I'm not often pulling that up. TV show wise, like I will, Tara and I will watch a lot of How I Met Your Mother when we just don't know what else to watch because it's just kind of a classic for us. Parks and Rec is another one that we'll do that with. Me personally, I if I don't know what to watch, and especially if I'm feeling a bit down, I'll put on I Think You Should Leave. Because that often will get me laughing and feeling better about things. I mean, I've seen all the episodes so many times now, and I'm still like, oh yeah, this one, you know?
Yeah. There's always one part that gets you. You think you're not gonna laugh, and then you're like, God damn.
Yeah.
That part got me.
Yeah, it's true. When he's like, bare butt, balls, and back, and I'm like, oh, there it is. That tickled my funny bone.
That's the funny button.
Music-wise, like... There are some albums that I go to, like there's some Coheed that I go to or Fall Out Boy, but really when I'm feeling like down, and I guess that's not what she asked. I'm taking it as, hey, when you're feeling depressed, but
it's like a comfort thing, you know, like a lot of times when you're reaching for comfort is those times, right?
When I need comfort, it's because I'm depressed, I guess. Yeah. I don't seek out comfort unless I'm like down on something. Yeah. But I listen to a lot of the video game music by Yasunori Matsuda, who did Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, among other things. I listen to a lot of Nobuo Uematsu Final Fantasy music. Yeah. I listen to David Wise Donkey Kong Country music.
Oh, yeah.
That's like the big 3 for me as far as like calming music. Especially some of the, like, I'll find a video on YouTube that's like Donkey Kong Country 2 soundtrack, but you're in a rainstorm.
Yeah.
And so someone took the soundtrack and put rain noises behind it.
Extended 10 hours.
Yeah, extended 10 hours. Or another one, it's like Undertale soundtrack, but there's someone's playing it in the apartment down the hall during a thunderstorm. Room. So it's like got that filter on it where it's like you can hear the bass real heavy and you can hear, and it's just like
like you're backstage at a concert.
Yeah. So I'll listen to shit like that. But the first thing I thought of actually when I read this question the first time, and I'll end with it, is YouTube, like I said earlier, is a big important thing to me. Like, it's definitely become a thing where, like, I've watched more YouTube than I've probably watched anything. And I will go back and watch Markiplier play Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, banger.
Was
that the bite of 87?
I've done that multiple times where I'm like, and to the point where the first couple episodes I like remember, like, oh yeah, that's when he did this thing. You know what I mean? And so
yeah,
I might have like some kind of brain problem.
I don't know. I feel like that's like a pretty normal thing. I don't know. Like,
well, like, okay,
I don't like go back and like rewatch certain like Let's Plays, but that's like the same as like watching like a show over.
Yeah, kind of. Well, okay. The context with it is that when I first watched it, because like Alan showed us that a long time ago, and that was before.
I guess I know the context. It is a little bit weird now that
I knew what Let's Plays were, but I didn't. I thought they were stupid because I was like, why would I want to watch somebody play video games, right?
Yeah.
And then
this
we
is
watched
like
that
2014 or something, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's 2013, 2014. Whenever those videos started to get big, Alan showed us like, oh, this is really scary game with like.
We were playing Titanfall 1. It was a banger.
Yeah.
Game
There's
is so
this
good.
really scary game where the animatronics are like out to get you, and I was like, oh, that sounds spooky. And he pulled up Markiplier's video, and we watched the first episode of it, and then I had night terrors that whole week, where Foxy was showing up in my room.
From like night one of
from night one of Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's not
because
even
the
like
concept,
super
the concept
intense.
was so scary to me, right?
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. Because as a kid, I hated animatronics. Like, I remember going to Chuck E. Cheese and like hiding under the table, and my mom was like, "Fucking stop! You're embarrassing." I was like, "That fucking gorilla's right there." You know what I mean? Like, I was so freaked.
He's gonna kill everybody in here.
Right. So I like had this like thing with animatronics, and then I was having these night terrors every night, and then I was like, Tara, I need you to watch the rest of this with me. So we sat there and we watched the rest of Five Nights at Freddy's, and that's when the night terrors stopped, because I got
Yeah.
And so it's really funny to me that now it's comforting.
You know what? I feel like I had like a similar thing, but not to such a like insane degree.
Thank you.
Can
you say it in Japanese?
It's not such a hijoshikina degree.
Thank you.
Make sure you elongate the O.
I don't want to be a non-woman welcome.
I remember as a kid when I was like maybe like, I don't know, I was like a pretty like mature kid, so I watched Lord of the Rings when I was like probably like 8, 9, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like Gollum was like very, very scary to me. And I remember
obviously.
I remember having some nightmares about Gollum as a kid. Even like pretty well into my teens, but like at that point it was like this is like very deep psyche shit, but like I would just fight him off in like by then,
yeah.
right? I'm like fuck you, Gollum. I'm like choking his ass out, you know, I'm like get out of here, right? But I also like really really love Gollum now, and like really love Lord of the Rings.
That's true.
Right? So
Gollum
it's kind of similar.
Gollum is your Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I was also 8.
Hey! I wasn't a grown man. I was. I don't know, man. I've just always been freaked out by animatronics. You know, it's like. But I think
goes
I would
back
be
to
now.
when you were 8. You know.
Right. It's a long seated trauma, and like not just like the fact that I was scared of them, but the fact that like my mom was like embarrassed that I was scared by them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's more like not only am I frightened of this, but like she doesn't give a shit to like help me. You know what I mean? She just wants. She's like, you're embarrassing me.
She's
Stop.
like, oh please. Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you got like, if I ever have kids, I'll never treat them like that. You know what I mean? And I know I'm revealing a lot about my childhood.
We're both revealing
a
lot about our psyches.
Yeah. This is the.
I can't wait for a psychologist watches the first episode of ARP.
It's so funny because that's what Bio does. Bio Bio
What?
Bio will say a therapist plays a Life is Strange.
Oh shit.
He'll do it.
My bad, Bio. I love you.
No, that's when I was like, hey, we have friends that do this. That's what I was talking about. You know?
Jesus.
Is that Bio does it.
Anyway.
Yeah, so Bio Roxas doesn't ignore his
have
family.
enough time for his family.
Yeah, it's true.
We went, I zigged, you zagged. Unlucky.
Yeah, I was trying to make it better for him, but yeah, so
I doubled down.
Miss Weinrib, thank you for the question. If you want to be featured as the questioner of the week, you can just go on our Discord in any of those channels and do that. Or you can email us at ansemreportpodcast@gmail.com. We'll still accept emails there, and just in the title put ARP question of the week. All right? So do that.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, thank you for listening and watching. This is a whole new thing for us. We're really excited about it, and we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This will be on its own feed, so like, you know, the typical stuff that we ask for, like 5-star reviews and sharing it and things like that, will help us out. We're gonna post like a little teaser on the Ansem Report thing so people know to come here and check it out. But yeah, any of that stuff helps us out. We appreciate you guys. We hope you enjoy this, and hopefully more people will check it out, because it's not just about Kingdom Hearts. It's about everything now. I don't know how to end this. We didn't talk about that.
May your A be your R to the P.
I don't know.
Now fuck off.
I don't know. That didn't feel right.
Yeah, no.
It felt like Zigbar trying to give me like weird instructions, you know, sexually.
Your A to the P? Hey, yo.
A to my R to my P, reload, you know?
Shit.
You know, it felt weird.
Come back next time where we find out what ARP really means.
Yeah, Activision.
Rockstar. And then... Isn't there like that like New Zealand based one that starts with a P, or is that something else?
Ubisoft.
Banger. Come back next week for Activision. Rockstar Ubisoft.
Not Ubisoft. Yeah, well, hey, maybe we'll figure out how this ends as we go. For now, we will just sit by, and we'll see you next week on ARP. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.